Here we are, ready to play. Let's make this a fun-filled day. Missy and Shannon are here to show you how we make toys. Are you ready now? Let's play!
Thanks for joining us again. Last time we talked about shape sorters, and we told you we'd be covering puzzles today, so here we are. And just like with shape sorters, puzzles cover all developmental areas. So to recap that, let's think about that. There's 5 areas. There's gross motor, which covers, or motor that covers gross and fine motor. There's cognitive, which is early learning skills, problem solving. Social emotional, relating to others and sharing enjoyment in your play. That's how we'll look at it today. Self-help or adaptive. So a lot of times people think about it as dressing, sleeping, eating, toileting, and then communication, of course. So let's think first about motor skills. So a lot of times parents will be like, well, how do I work on gross motor skills with puzzles? Now you see Shannon moving these puzzle pieces. So in order to do the puzzle, she has to transition herself in and out of like a sit and put these in. You also can work on reaching across midline. Just see how she just did that? You can have your child reach right or left to put them in, and she's moving around. And then also think about as they get older, you get those really big floor puzzles. You're moving as you put the pieces in. And for our active kids, that's a really good thing too. So you can work on gross motor skills within puzzle play.
I've even seen, the puzzle pieces being all the way across the room and the child having to run, go get them, and then come back and put it in.
That's a beautiful idea. Yeah, kind of almost making a puzzle piece obstacle course.
Yes.
Yeah. Then fine motor, right? So in beginning puzzles, we have chunky knobs, easy to take out. And notice how I'm grabbing that with my whole hand, right? And then we have smaller knob puzzles too. Yeah. And then we work up to really fine motor, or what we call a pincher grasp. So I need to just use my 2 fingers to take a puzzle piece in and out. It gets really hard to use all of my hands to take them in and out. So we're working on that grasping.
And then you have the puzzle that you just lay the pieces in flat, or slide them in.
Or slide them in, yeah.
This is a great puzzle too, because it's looking at some of those sensory things. It's just got some great textures on it that the little ones really do like.
They really do. And sometimes they like to start there, engaging in puzzle play rather than the knobby puzzles.
Knobby puzzles.
So the next thing that we have in puzzle play would be adaptive skills. And parents would go, what does that have to do with puzzle play? Well, if you think about dressing, right, you're using your fingers to take off socks, to put on socks, to make your zipper go up and down. And so by doing this type of play, you're also working on those adaptive skills. Then we have cognitive skills or early learning. So a lot of it is problem solving, concepts, knowing, matching. And then we get into a little bit of when we're trying to problem solve and put the pieces in, it flows into that social emotional development. And so do you want to talk a little bit about what you see sometimes?
I will. So sometimes puzzles can be very frustrating for kids because they can't get it in there. They might throw pieces, they might cry, they might whine. It's a great opportunity for that parent to model how to handle those frustrations, how to ask for help, if that be a sign or using words, and then just that interaction with your child alone, doing something together is great for that social emotional piece. Another thing that I really like to do when I'm doing puzzles with the students I see or with my own children at home is I like to be down with them on my tummy.
So we're going to show you what that looks like. And notice our positioning. So we're more engaged now, right? We can look at the puzzle, we can look at each other, and we can really, enjoy this much more than when we're sitting up or at a table. This is a much more engaged setting.
This is
so
also
get on the floor with your kids.
Yes. And this is also a great position to lead into that discussion about communication as well, because look at where our faces are. We're
Right.
looking right at each other.
are.
We're close together. You can see my lips going up and down and moving around in all the positions. So this is a great position to start talking about that communication too.
Right. And so communication finds its foundation, like a lot of development, in imitation, right? So if your child is just interested, see what they're interested in and expand on it. So some of, a nonverbal word imitation would be even just sniffing the flowers on this little piece of grass. Start to think outside of the box.
Or not even saying num num num, just the
you're pretending
opening
to eat,
and closing the
imitating
mouth.
eating. And if you get a num num, awesome.
Yay!
Awesome, right? And then moving along, you always want to see where your child is at their stage of development. Don't always think about their age, but their stage of development. Where are they at? What are they able to do? And then we'll keep moving on from there. So not
And
making
their
it too hard.
interests, too.
And their
Don't forget
interests,
about their
absolutely.
interests.
So a lot of our little friends love animals. So this would be a great way to start working on some of those consonant vowels like moo moo, ba ba, nay nay. And always remember that when you're talking about animals, you want to label the animal and then say their sound. You don't want to call it a moo moo. It's not a moo moo, it's a cow. So cow says moo moo moo. Now look what I did. I held it up by my face because that will bring their eyes up to my face and let them see what I am doing with my mouth. And you might just get a ooh, but that's okay. We can work on the M and the moo moo. And you just might get a moo, but we'll keep on working for the moo moo.
Moo moo, yes.
Cow says moo moo.
Another thing too with that communication, going back a little bit farther to is in this position, this is a great position for me to kind of control the puzzle pieces. So if the child wants a puzzle piece, they need to ask, request, sign, gesture, any way that they know how to communicate. She wants moo, and I'm gonna take that because she said moo. Yay, you said moo.
And maybe you could give me a choice.
Oh.
And like cue me on what I might want to say.
Missy, sheep says ba ba. Cow says moo moo.
Ba.
Ba.
Ooh, look what happened there. See how cool that was?
So, and then there's 2 more pieces for her to ask for. So,
Yep. Choices.
choices and communication.
Yeah. And you brought along some homemade puzzles
I
today.
did.
Okay.
did.
Let's take a look at those.
So this is one that you would certainly probably would not want to use with a 1-year-old, but getting into that 2.5, 3-year-old, all I did was print off a picture of a puppy. And these are just those mega blocks that I think a lot of homes have already. And so I literally taped it out, the picture on, and it became a puzzle. So now the child gets to put the blocks together, building a tower. A lot of kids love to build with these blocks, and we just made a puppy.
You made a puppy. And you can talk about eyes and nose and mouth,
Body parts.
what the puppy says.
Yep. Same with this one. Kitty, this is just a little bit more simple. This one has 2 pictures. This one has the 3 pictures. So those are using blocks, using objects. Kids love using objects. Getting a little bit more difficult. I did some paper plates.
Awesome.
So, very easy to find these. You probably have some in your home already. All I did with this one was went really simple and just colored that inside circle red so they can match it together. You could do multiple different shapes, different pictures. You could print a picture in here just so that child has something a little bit harder to hold on to, a little bit easier for their fingers to manipulate. And then, what little guy doesn't like cars? So thinking about interests of kids right now too, and maybe they have a favorite color, blue car, red car. Print out whatever kind of car you want to.
Yeah.
They like whatever
And then
their interest is.
Be thinking about language too. So if they're just into still making sounds, vroom. Whereas if they're able to do 2-word phrases, red car. So working on language in that.
Yep. And you could make some of those fun sounds as you're sliding things together.
Oh, that would be fun.
Vroom. and it's put together and you
Wow.
have a card. So that's motivating because then they get to see the end result of the picture.
Right.
Another one, I just did a quick little printout of a kitty because some kids love animals. So, and then I just cut this one into 3 different pieces. So, went from 2 pieces to 3 pieces. Another thing that's super motivating is
You're gonna love this.
This is actually my school picture, but super motivating for kids. If you have extra pictures of your kids themselves or mom and dad, cut those pictures up. Use them because kids are going to be so excited when you put it together and they see mommy.
Mommy, awesome.
So, or themselves. Another thing that I saw that I didn't get a chance to put together before the video, but popsicle sticks or those tongue depressor sticks, those make great puzzle pieces too.
Yeah,
Just
fun.
cutting paper in or pictures into strips and then gluing them on or taping them on, and then they can put the puzzle pieces together. So it's all over Pinterest if you want to look for puzzle or popsicle stick puzzles. That's what you can find. So
And just one other thing that I forgot to
Adaptations.
to adapt your puzzle. So this is one that we had. It's one of our foundational or easiest puzzles, but when they made it, they had the circle, but this was like a clock. So I wanted it to be a little bit easier and have it so kids to do some matching. So I just adapted it and I put a red circle in there. And same with the triangle. This used to be a piece of pizza. So think about that. If you have a puzzle that doesn't have the matching picture underneath, you can always make a colored copy, cut it out, and glue it in there. And we've done that with a lot of our puzzles. We've adapted them here in our program. So hopefully you've learned a little bit about how to play with puzzles today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us or any one of your infant toddler teachers. And next time we're going to talk about
books.